Hi everyone, this is Alex Sangha and welcome to my YouTube channel. In my YouTube channel, I talk about mental wellness, I talk about identity, I talk about spirituality, and today I'm here with my wonderful, beautiful mother, Grandma Jay, as many of you know her by, and today we are going to talk about healing. So we're going to talk about the process of healing, how to heal, why sometimes bad things happen to people, and we're just going to explore the topic of healing. So welcome to the show, Mom. How are you?
Good, Sat Sri Akal. I'm doing
good. I guess let's start from, I am a gay person. I live with mental health challenges as bipolar. I'm a visible minority. I was raised by yourself. You did a wonderful job as a single mother of 3 boys. You went through a lot of trauma in your life. You want to talk about some of the stuff that has happened, in your marriage and in your background, that, some of the trauma, and then how did you move towards healing?
It's difficult to explain, but I'll try my best. It has to do a lot with your bringing up. In my bringing up in India, in the village of Punjab, we study, we find a job, but we never really think that you're going to get married and going to have children, and also you're going to do the job. And in 1970, I decided that if I stay there, I was okay, well off. I can hire somebody to do my housework, and then I can pay for that and also go to school and do my things. But when I moved to England, and everything changed, the language, culture, everything changed. But I was not really knowledgeable enough and educated enough about the family, children, extended family, living with them, everything. It was difficult, but I thought that once you get married, you become a mom, so that's okay. The things we not able to do now, when the kids grow up, then I can do whatever I want. So then I decided that just pay attention to the children now because they need me. I done it. When my youngest child go into kindergarten, I go back to school, because that was my plan to begin with, to upgrade myself. Then things go wrong, and we both could not get along. That was the time, was the light bulb go on. How I'm going to raise the children? No job, no education in the Western world, because I was Gyani teacher. Then what I'm going to do now? But back of my mind, I was so attached to the family thing that it's 2 people need to create children, and both has to raise children. That's how I believed. But when I see around, and lots of people were single people around and doing things, and then the big myth we have in our head, oh, those are the people do here, born and raised. We don't. We stay in the family, and husband work and wife run the house and take care of the kids and wherever we are. But things doesn't work that way. I was that attached that I left the person, go back to school, done everything. Still I was thinking, how can anybody be not taking care of their own children? So now, after years and years going through reading Sri Guru Granth Sahib, because that is only for the spirituality, the mind, the thoughts and everything, but it's not the physical body to eat and sleep and go to work and do this and do that. Totally different things.
Yeah. So my question, Mommy, is as a single parent raising 3 boys, leaving your husband in the 70s, I believe, right? Where it was very much a taboo to leave your husband. You had some issues, he was drinking, he was abusive. But my question to you is, why do you think this trauma and these difficult times were happening to yourself? what was the bigger picture here in terms of spirituality and things happening in life? Do you feel it was in total control of your husband, my father, or why did you have to experience this?
Well, that's very simple. I was not educated to go to work here in England and Canada. So I write it down on the piece of paper. I see what can I do to have the normal life. That's why I go back to school. And when I done that, still I was attached to that. How come anybody not take care of the children? So nobody was having any answer. So then I read so many books, like psychiatric books, psychology books, even the counseling books. I bought some from the second-hand store, question answers there, and learn that. So then I figure it out, oh yeah, I should not be that attached, number one. Number two, logically, nobody can be with you forever. I had a life before marriage. I had a life after separation. And lots of my age friends lost their husbands with death. And they live as a single parent, and they raise their children too. But their problems were different, mine were different. The colors of the problems were different. The problem is a problem. Mm-hmm. So that's how I start thinking inside, it's okay, I'm not alone. And that was the first step. I start healing. Mm. I was not alone, lots of people around me like that. And that thought still sometime I feel that how can anybody be cruel or something. But now the number of people, lots of them are like that, and everybody think that you move on. Western world move on mean leave that person and find another person. Here people talk like that when women talk to me. And for me, that was not important. That was that if I do some job, do it from the heart and wholeheartedly do it. So I was devoted to take care of the kids. And I have no regret and I have no complaint, nothing to blame. That's okay. What's the big deal? If I have less money, I will not leave anything for you guys. But I give my time, my life gladly, not like a punishment way or something. But when all of a sudden 3 years, 3 children, one time the thought crossed my mind, why I have to be punished? And that was more hurtful than anything else. Once I understand that that's okay, sooner or later, some people plan first everything else and then they start the children. God-given gift I have before, I will do other stuff. Then I meet people who don't have children.
Mm-hmm. So, Mom, I think the question for me is to talk about healing and spirituality and identity is, now you're this single woman with grade 10 education. You could not pass your grade 12. English was your second language. You worked very hard as a nurse's aide for over 20 years. You were raising 3 boys with the support of your brothers. Why did you have to go through so much struggle and suffering as a woman who was very spiritual? What does it say in the Guru Granth Sahib, or what? You turn to the Guru Granth Sahib every day to help you and guide you and support you. What answer did you get? Why did you have to go through this marriage, and why did you have to go through this suffering? Why did you have to go through this trauma? And what answer did the Guru Granth Sahib give you that helped you with your healing?
Guruji taught me, when you have a big gold something in your hand, to purify that, they have the fire and they have an iron thing there, and they turning into shapes and they making something beautiful, and they bang, 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 and those things has to go through lots of hard work. The life is just like that. Life is not easy, and spirituality has nothing to do with it. It's a strength inside, but worldly things are very different. For the spirits, people die, they say spirit is always there and gone. They don't need houses, they don't need the food, they don't need clothes. They don't have anybody be a competition or anything. So in a way, spirituality way, I am very rich woman and I like myself and I like my company. I have no complaint that I've been through that. That has nothing to do with if I'm reading part or not. That is different thing. That was my things that I have to make myself to go out and earn my living and something. Everybody do it. Guruji say you work hard and earn your living and do things, your duties and with kindness. So the kindness teach you to not to be attached one thing or one person or a tunnel vision. No. Any human being you dealing with, deal with kindness.
So I do believe in kindness. I believe, I don't even hate my worst enemies or people who have done harm to me. I wish them well. I do my 50%, and if they don't return that 50%, that is on their conscience, that is on their karma. But my job is to be kind to everyone. And
Yes.
one thing I say, one thing you said to me in another episode was, if the creator is like a parent and he had two children and one children was doing bad things and one child was doing good things, that creator or God or that parent would still feed the good child the same as he would feed the bad child.
Yes.
They would provide food and nourishment for both of them.
Yeah.
The creator would not judge his own children. So this is how I feel my philosophy is in life. To me, if people do good to me or people do bad to me, they are human beings. This is where they are at in their life right now. This is what they know. My job is to be good. My job is to be kind and to do my 50%. And if they are not at the stage of their life where they can do their 50%, well, that is on them.
Yes, definitely. It's Guruji taught me, if you happen to be with a bad behavior person, do not quit yourself to be a good person. You carry on your goodness. Do not leave that. And if the other person you are unable to teach, that's okay, let them go wherever they want. But you are not allowed to become a bad person, then you and the other party have no difference in between. Both the same. So why you learn the bad thing from somebody if somebody not learning the good thing from you? You just mind your own business. So that's another thing for healing.
For me, what message would you give, especially to immigrant women from India or from any country coming here, struggling, single mothers who have gone through a lot of trauma in relationships, marriage, trying to raise children by themselves, struggling financially, in poverty, working hard? What advice would you say to them to help them with their healing? What could you say to those people?
I talk to many girls. I say I made a mistake unknowingly. I did not plan the way it should be. Nowadays, people plan life that how much money you need, what kind of a house you need, what kind of a car you need, blah, 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 everything. They think about that, they make a list and then they do. And I suggest to the younger generation, make yourself educated first, take care of your health, be happy for yourself, like yourself, learn each day something good, make you feel smile, and the other people are feeling comfortable around you. And then you earn your living and write it down on the piece of paper, what you expecting from the other person. And then write it down. Do you think you have comparatively to give that to the other person too? So if both ways that go, and then you can think about those things, because nowadays it's not like before. Back home when we were little kids and the children were the old age pension for the family, for the parents. And they were living together in the joint family. Grandparents were well taken by my parents and also us. So when we grow and we learn that we must take care of our parents. Nowadays things are very different. I felt sometime in tears that Eastern world is not exactly like the Western world providing the facilities for everything. and the benefits for everything, but they are copying these people when they listen the story from other people for the old age homes and family living alone and the young children living away from parents and all that stuff. But they did not provide anything to them. That is very sad. Lots of people suffering these days. So people has to understand that, number one, relationship can start. Anything have a birth, have a death. Anything have a start, have a end. Some people live for life together. Some people not for always together. And what can be together with you is you yourself. So that's how I heal myself.
You know what else I've noticed in my life as a 51-year-old man now is it's really true when people say in the universe, what goes around comes around.
Yes.
If you do harm to someone and you hurt someone, you are really digging your own grave, because that karma and that negative energy and the universe will come back, and the damage you did to others could very much end up damaging you.
Yeah.
I really have seen this a number of times, and I've witnessed it a number of times in the community, and it's really a phenomenal experience.
The problem is when somebody act wrong, sometimes the mind screwed up and the mind is telling it's okay, who cares? Little voice telling you not to do it, but people still doing it. Anybody can practice on that and the results never good. So when we sit alone with ourselves and give a thought and sleep on that thought, and when you wake up the next morning, you most of the time have the answers for your questions. It happens to me. I lived my life like that. So I asked my grandfather, my paternal grandfather, Babaji, which way I go. And then when I sit and read Guru Granth Sahib, I say, Guru Babaji, help me, which way I go. And sometimes takes weeks, sometimes takes months, sometimes takes years for something to make a decision. But eventually the thought in the head before you sleep, it work all night, and sooner or later you have the result, and result is always the best.
I always say you are not alone in this world.
Yeah.
You need self-love. You have the Creator. God is within you. God knows everything.
Yes.
God knows your suffering. God knows your pain. And sometimes I think sometimes you're on a trajectory of pain and suffering in order for certain things to happen and unfold in the future where there's healing and flourishing. So sometimes you have to go through the suffering to get to a stage of your life many decades down the road, which is a really good place for you.
Exactly. When you go to when I was young, I go to the gym, and usually they say that no pain, no gain. You have to build your muscles, you have to have your stamina, you have to endurance, and you have to do this, you have to do that. And then the results are there. But you have to go through that hardship. The same way is mental work. If you put the good thought in the mind, the result will be good. If you always simmering the bad thought in the mind, and the result will be bad. Anybody can practice, anybody can see it, and for decades I have been doing it.
There's some people who say that the pain and suffering you go through brings you closer to God. Brings you closer to God. And
to me it does. It did.
It brings you closer to God.
Yeah.
The people is kind of like an opposite, duality of opposites. Like, you can only appreciate happiness if you've gone through sadness.
Yes.
You can only appreciate a wonderful life if you've gone through pain and suffering. Like, there's this duality of opposites that they talk about in different faiths and philosophies.
My grandparents used to say, if there is no night, there is no value of the day. If there is no rain, there is no value of the sunshine. Just because they are opposite for each other, and then we know the beauty of that, and we are appreciating it.
Yeah. And the other thing I want to mention is, a lot of people think pain and suffering is it does so much trauma, so much damage to some people. However, pain and suffering for me that I've gone through in my life, like coming out, being gay, living with mental illness, being marginalized, being alienated, being isolated within social circles when I was growing up. The pain and suffering made me an empathetic person. It provided me with insight, knowledge, expertise on how other people are feeling in my counseling practice. And the most important thing that pain and suffering have is now that I'm in a much better place in my life, I have so much more gratitude. And I realize all the pain and suffering that happened to me in the past got me to where I am today.
That's what is thankfulness, shukrana, gratitude. Yes. So the thing is this, that what you have, appreciate that. Don't worry about the half glass not full. You can argue it, the half glass full, the other one say the half is empty, but it's like pessimistic or positive and everything, right? It goes with it. Once you appreciating what you have, and just like the child is eating, the mother is watching, the plate is almost getting empty and the child is still going like this and the mother give more food. So don't worry about half glass empty. God is watching, and there are ways to fill that glass completely, sometime overflow.
Right. So the final comment I ask for you is, what is just a couple sentences you want to leave for our audience about how to heal from trauma, how to move forward from trauma? What advice can you give the audience?
My advice is that look around the Mother Nature. The seasons change, people change, situations change. Always not storm, always not flood, always not earthquake, but once in a while come, even though the road are repairing, and it feels so bad when you have to wait 5 minutes to go the detour or something, and then when the road is going easy, clean, clear, and the travel is very, very interesting. Same way is life. Ups and downs come for everybody, and believe in yourself. And have a faith that one of these days things will turn out all good. And I usually sometimes just dream that goodness is coming just around the corner. And sometimes I just clap and we sing and we dance, we do something, the thing's going to happen the best for us. And after a while, the things really start happening best. So have hope and do work hard and feel happy about that. And every single day is a new day, and hope for the best.
That's great. So I think what I'm hearing from my mother is manifest the future you want. Think positive, have positive reinforcement, have positive thoughts, and manifest the future that you want. So that is it from Alex Sangha, myself, and my wonderful mother, Grandma Jay. Remember, if you just mentor one person in your life, just one person, then the entire world can be empowered. So thank you very much for watching my YouTube channel, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye-bye.